after all those good vibes a few days ago, Ryan O'Reilly, Noel Acciari in town, the Leafs beat the Montreal Canadiens at Scotiabank Arena. We're all feeling good. They go to Chicago on the second night of a back-to-back, and they lose 5-3 in regulation. Patrick Kane gets a hat trick, and Samsonov's road record and his road numbers continue to give you a little bit of a question mark, I guess. With the loss, the Leafs now drop to 34, 15, and 8 on the year. And let's break this down. First period. Little give and go in the neutral zone. Patrick Kane has the puck. And just Timothy Liljegren just continues to back up. And then Patrick Kane rips the puck right through Liljegren's legs and beats Samsonov far side. That's painful. You're down 1-0, but it's early. That goal is at 10:44 of the first period. Good stuff. Well, not good stuff, but it's okay. Less than 2 minutes after that, Leafs get a power play. Puck gets back to the point to Morgan Rielly. A beautiful slap pass to John Tavares as he's kind of crossing the middle of the ice, and he redirects it past the goaltender, and we're tied at 1. Morgan Rielly with point number 400, on his career. Tavares from Rielly and Nylander at 12:52, and we're tied at 1. Good stuff. After one period of play, it's 1-1. Shots are 8-7 in favor of Chicago. The Leafs got to get their legs going here. And in the second period, Matthews gets the puck along the wall and a little foo-foo backhand pass to Justin Hall, who clearly isn't expecting it, doesn't pick the puck up, it gets turned over, and it's right at the circle in your own end. Awful turnover. Puck gets back to Patrick Kane. And the beautiful head fake from Patrick Kane gets Samsonov flailing around like crazy, way out of his crease. And Kane slides a 5-hole on him. An awful turnover. And now you're down 2-1. That goal was at 7:57 of the second period. Less than 3 minutes after that, though. And this one was painful, right? Kane gets the puck. He gets behind the net. I think he's trying to outweight Samsonov. But Samsonov gets down and out. And then he tries to knock it off his back. And it just squeaks over the line. Justin Hall tries to bring it back. Does not. They initially say no goal. They go to review. They call it a goal. Patrick Kane gets a hat trick. The first 3 goals of the game, and the Leafs now trail 3-1. Not what you want to see if you're Leaf fans. But late in the second period, Alex Kerfoot off the half boards, fires the puck at the net. It goes up in the air. David Kampf brings it down, and he kind of backhand passes it in front of the net. It's right front and center. Noel Acciari buries it. First is a Leaf. David Kampf, Alex Kerfoot grab assist on the goal at 17:46, and the Leafs were within 1 after 40 minutes. Shots on goal in the second period were 10-7 in favor of the Leafs, so you can start to see that they're starting to find it. But again, you're still trailing heading into the third period. Less than 8 minutes in, Morgan Rielly takes off up the half boards, and Morgan Rielly sees that inside our own blue line. But he rifles it down the end, and it goes off the boards and comes back out, and Mitch Marner obviously has a head of speed, gets there, beautiful move to the backhand, and beats the goaltender. We are tied at 3. Marner from Rielly and Justin Hall at 7:38 of the third period, and we're tied, and it looks like, all right, the fellas are going to figure it out. They're going to come back and win this game. 4 minutes after that, Gutman comes down in a rush, and he just rips it and beats Samsonov for his first career NHL goal. And the Leafs trail now 4-3. Not what you want to see. And then Max Domi with a minute 16 to go buries the empty netter off the assist from Patrick Kane. Domi and Kane have a big night. 4 points each. And the Leafs lose 5-3. And the narrative of the Leafs not being able to beat these teams down in the standings continues. I mean, I was really hoping that after beating Montreal and bringing in these veteran guys, things would look a little different. They did yesterday, or I guess technically Saturday, but not last night. I liked the fight, sure. You can't put yourself in that situation, though. Now, who do you blame for that, though? Do you blame Samsonov? Do you blame the team defense? What do you blame there? Well, I didn't like Samsonov's game today. The thing about him that's always kind of worried me has been I love the athleticism. That's great. But it's when he's in trouble, he just flies around and hopes the puck hits him. Right? On the second Patrick Kane goal. Yeah, Kane outweights him, right? And then slides a 5-hole. But look where Samsonov ends up. He's way out of his crease. He doesn't look square to the puck. He's already down. And Kane beats him 5-hole. Just undresses him like crazy. That was a good move, good head fake from Patrick Kane, but you got to be sound in the net, man. That's tough. And on the third goal, where Kane's able to bank it off him, dude's down and out. He's down and flopping around trying to make this save. And then once Kane gets behind the net, he's like, oh, I can just bank this off his back. And Samsonov can't get in position in time to make that save. And I look at those two goals specifically. And I'm like, okay, this is why I watched, again, very small sample size, obviously. But I like Joseph Wall on Saturday, right? Very calm in the net. Very positionally sound. And I like it. He's very calm in the net. And that's the type of goalie that I love to watch. Because it was crazy. I've talked to buddies of mine and everything. When the Leafs had Garrett Sparks. I'm not comparing Samsonov to Garrett Sparks because they're night and day. But Garrett Sparks, was the best goaltender in the AHL, right? He excuse me, guys. He did a great job. In the Calder Cup finals, winning the Calder Cup for the Toronto Marlies, and everyone's like, this is the next goalie for the Leafs, and I'm sitting here like, he's not. The guy is so floppy in the net, he just flies around and hope the puck hits him. Where's Garrett Sparks now? Nowhere to be found. Because when you're not positionally sound, yeah, sure, in the AHL that might work because guys are not pinpoint shots. They're not in the NHL for a reason. So for Samsonov, when he makes these sound saves, it's great. When you need to make a desperation save, I love it because he can do it. But on goals like the second Patrick Kane goal, where he comes out of his blue paint, I love the aggressiveness, but then once Patrick Kane makes that head fake, he is down and he is way out of his net. And that just can't happen. Now, the Leafs team D, sure, you're not getting sticks on the puck on the first goal. You're blocking your goaltender and he shoots between your legs. That's a very hard shot to save, so I can't really blame Sammy for that one. If you're Liljegren, you got to get your stick right on that puck. As a defenseman, I've played D a lot of my life. And again, I'm not going to try and tell Timothy Liljegren how to play defense because let's be honest, he's there, I'm here. But when you're backing up on D, first off, you can't back up too far because then you're in real trouble. And I wouldn't say he backed up too far, but he was definitely on the border of that. And you got to have your stick right on that puck. How many times have you seen guys with a defenseman in front of him try and take a shot and it ramps up his stick and goes out of play? Those are good sticks. Liljegren's stick wasn't even close to the puck, and he just shot a 5-hole. It was right through his legs. On the Gutman goal, it was a 2-on-1, and Gutman just ripped it. You can either say that was just a great shot, or, hey, when it's mano-a-mano, you want your goaltender to make the save. As a defenseman, you want to block the pass cross seam. That didn't happen. So if you're Sammy, you want to make that save. That didn't happen. Again, hard to blame him. It's an odd man rush. The team should not be able to allow an odd man rush. And they did, though. So there's so many different ways of looking at this game. It's not one that I can sit here and say, let's just throw away the tape, because it's happened too often. But when this trade video, when I dropped the trade video for you guys, I believe I said in there, I said, great move. You brought in the guys you're supposed to bring in. You need defense now. Like a Jake McCabe, Gavrikov, Luke Schenn is the name that everyone's loving right now. And look, you need a guy like that who is so sound defensively that you can, and physical that you can play, right? Because God forbid in a playoff series against Tampa and Boston, you have guys like Pat Maroon, Corey Perry, Braden Point, who plays really physical for his size, dumps the puck in, and they are attacking Liljegren and Sandin in the corner. Like that, sure, they can do that as a third pair, fine. Or it scares me. Connor Timmins is not a guy that you want to see in the playoffs. Look, he puts up points, great. Regular season guy, though, for me. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but those question marks are still there. Now, a big test for the Leafs is coming up. And James, what do you mean? The Buffalo Sabres, well, first off, Buffalo's been playing some good hockey this year, right? They're 28, 22, and 4. They've played some good hockey recently. They've won 2 straight. They're obviously fighting for playoff lives, kind of trying to climb into it. Also, they score a ton of goals. And, Samsonov, assuming he'll be in the net, assuming he was healthy today or last night, he'll be in the cage, and it's a road game. So it's a very big test for this team. Can you keep the puck out of the net against a high-flying offense on the road? And that game's on Tuesday night at 7:30. We'll see what happens there. Key stats from today's game, I'll rip through this quick. Samsonov, 4 goals on 27 shots. No matter which way you look at it, that ain't pretty. Morgan Riley had 2 assists in the game. Congrats to 400 points for him. By the way, the shots on goal in the third period were 18-13 in favor of the Leafs and 35-28 for the game. But you see, 18 shots in that period, and in the first they had 7. I mean, it's just tough, right? Special teams-wise, we were 1 for 2 on our power plays. They were 0 for 3. So the penalty kill continues to do really well. Again, it's against these not great teams, right? But you're doing what you're supposed to do. So great job from the PK. Loving seeing Noel Achari out there in the PK. Loving it. Just loving it. All right? We move on because I'm done dwelling on this game. Tuesday, the Leafs, like we said, are in Buffalo, taking on the Sabres at 7:30. Looking to bounce back and looking to put up a good defensive performance tomorrow. Tomorrow. So, you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and not that game last night, smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit that subscribe button if you guys not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game, what you like, what you not like from last night's game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Twitter and Instagram link are down below, so follow up, send me a DM. Guys, do all that great stuff. The Discord link is down below as well, so follow up there if you guys have not done so already. And I will talk to you guys Raptors edition Thursday. We're getting there as the Raptors host the New Orleans Pelicans in Game 1 after the All-Star break is over. And as for the Leafs, as we talked about, they're back in action on Tuesday night as they are in Buffalo, taking on the Sabres, looking to bounce back and looking to have a good defensive performance against a really good offense. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and not that game last night. We'll talk to you guys then.